We had Monday Night Raw today, but it wasn't just any Monday Night Raw. It was the first Raw after Survivor Series War Games. But was it good? Was it bad? Only one way to find out. Before we get into it, though, make sure to hit that button to subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. We're having a lot of fun on this channel, trying to post as much as I can. So come, be a part of it. Have some fun with us. Now, let's talk wrestling. Throughout the night, we keep asking the same question. Who's under the mask? And WWE really wants you to believe it's Seth Rollins. Like, a lot. Like, Adam Pearce brings it up more than once. And apparently, he wants us to believe that Seth Rollins was there. People saw Seth Rollins there, and he wasn't wearing an arm singlet, so it has to be Seth Rollins. WWE wants you to believe that. We all know it wasn't Seth Rollins. We all know who it is. Anyway, moving on. We start off the show with Rhea Ripley and Iyo Sky in the middle of the ring. And they start talking about War Games, how dominant they were at War Games, and how now that that's behind them, they want a shot at the tag team titles. They want a shot at the Kabuki Warriors. Ain't nothing wrong with that. So, obviously, they're getting a shot and nothing happened, right? Wrong. They were immediately interrupted by Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss because they were the former champions and they never got their rematch. So, tonight's main event, it's going to be Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss versus Iyo Sky and Rhea Ripley for number one contenders to the women's tag team championships. Okay. It seems like WWE is really investing into the women's tag team scene as well, because Bayley and Lyra also talked to Adam Pearce. They're like, hey, we want a shot at the Kabuki Warriors. We want a shot at the titles. Adam Pearce is like, let me see what happens at the end of tonight, and then we can talk about when you guys get a shot at the titles. So that's definitely happening. They were also, as they were talking to Adam Pearce, they were interrupted by Asuka and Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors. Bayley was mostly, right? And Asuka was like, hey, see what happens when you don't want to join our War Games team? See, now you're nothing. Where are you? Right? Charlotte Flair is main eventing tonight, but you're not. Why aren't you main eventing? Kind of poking at it. And then we have that Bayley shift, so she starts calling everybody idiots. And then Asuka calls her an idiot. It was a lot of fun. But I like that WWE is building into this, building up the women's tag team scene, right? Like for so long, we see these titles just kind of take a back seat to everything else. I like the idea that they're building it up. And I mean, what better way to do it than by adding a bunch of main eventers to the scene? So kudos to you, WWE. I really enjoyed all of this. It seems that we also have the first challenger for Maxine Dupri's IC title, and it's Ivy Nile. I like this. This is the reason why we put the title on Maxine Dupri. If it was on Bayley, there was no chance. I mean, I guess there is a small chance Maxine Dupri did win, but there was almost no chance that Ivy Nile was going to win this title. And now with Maxine Dupri holding it, there is absolutely a chance that her first match she loses it, right? They really made a big deal about, oh, Maxine's training with Natalya, by the way. And then they showed like a weird video of both of them training, like really intense, like video package where they're training probably, somewhere in Canada where Natalya's from. It was a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if I liked it. I think they're trying to give us like a darker, harder Maxine Dupri. We'll see where it goes. It was a little weird for me though. Throughout the night, we also kept getting reminded that the Judgment Day was back, right? And not just like the Judgment Day are back, but like now that Liv is back, this is a united front again, right? And Liv has, it seems like they all have each other's back again. I thought that Liv would come back and have some sort of vendetta, maybe against Finn, maybe against Roxanne Perez, and perhaps it'll play out that way. But right now, it seems like they're a united front, and we kept being reminded of that. Dominic Mysterio cut a promo in the middle of the ring. He talks about how he beat the GOAT, right? John Cena's the GOAT, and he beat the GOAT. And I love that. I think Dominic needs to lean into this more. He needs to talk about how he beat John Cena on his last PLE appearance, right? Take this, run with it, skyrocket to the main event scene. Let's put a world title on this guy. And this is where it all needs to start, right? Oh, John Cena's the GOAT? Well, I beat the GOAT. Love it. I love that WWE is really, really jumping on this. They made the mistake when Austin Theory beat John Cena at WrestleMania. They made the mistake that they kind of just didn't talk about it after that, which was really bad for Austin Theory, right? It really could have taken him to new places and it didn't because they ignored it. So I love that WWE is leaning into this. We also had a segment backstage where Stephanie Vaquer is cutting a promo talking about her match with Nikki Bella and how anyone who wants to come and challenge her, right, like she'll take them to the fire, something like that. Something with fire, right? Because she's the devil. She comes out with like the devil horns or whatever. And she's interrupted by Liv Morgan, right? Yes, 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 yes. We absolutely want this. I feel like Stephanie Vaquer has been kind of just hanging in there, going with the flow, waiting for Liv Morgan to come back. So now that Liv Morgan is back, let's pull the trigger. Let's have this be the match for Royal Rumble. Let's have it go into WrestleMania. Let's have this be the big feud. I don't care who wins, but this absolutely needs to happen, WWE. Pull the trigger. As far as matches are concerned, we had both semifinal matches for the Last Time Is Now tournament to face John Cena for that retirement match. So, first match we got was LA Knight against Jey Uso. Match was fine, but what everyone's going to be talking about is the ending, right? Jey Uso goes for the frog splash on LA Knight. He gets it. He goes for the pin. 1-2. Then LA Knight quickly reverses it into a roll up, into a crucifix, right? 1-2-3. LA Knight wins. Amazing. I did not expect this to happen. I thought that WWE was trying to give us Jey Uso against Gunther again. So I'm glad we got LA Knight. I still think, well, I'm getting ahead of myself, but I still think Gunther is going to be the guy to face John Cena. But this honestly makes me question it like a 10%, right? Like there's a 10% chance that that guy's going to be LA Knight, and I wouldn't hate that. But anyway, after this match, Jey Uso just like crashes out. He sits in the ring for a bit as LA Knight kind of leaves, goes backstage. He sits on the apron of the ring. He's like hits his head on the announce table. He starts throwing the Prime hydration station, starts throwing things around by the ring, and just like kind of crashes out. Later too, he gets stopped in the back for an interview. They start asking him about the match tonight, about war games, about the hooded guy. And he's like, I don't know about that. I don't care about that. And then he starts to leave and he comes back and he's like, I'm summarizing because I don't remember exactly what he said, but he's like, Roman said that those belts would look better on him. And they would, but they wouldn't look better on me. So I don't know if this is finally going to be the heel turn for Jey Uso, or if we're going to get some like weird mopey Jey Uso for a while. I hope it's the former. I hope it's heel Jey Uso. I hope he does something to give himself some edge. We can just get past this babyface yeeting Jey Uso who just can't get the win, who just doesn't convince us as a real champion. So I'm excited for this. WWE is finally paying this off, I think. We'll see. We also got Gunther against Solo Sikoa. It was fine. It was a fine match. Nothing great, nothing special. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. Of course, Solo Sikoa comes out with Tala Tonga, who gets involved. Gunther then, as he's getting kind of held back by Tala Tonga, the referee sees all of this, by the way. He's getting held by Tala Tonga, right? His arms are back so that Solo Sikoa can spike him. He mule kicks Tala Tonga right in the balls. And so low blows Tala Tonga, great. Referee sees all of this. He's like kicking out Tala Tonga outside of the ring while now Gunther and Solo Sikoa go in the ring. Gunther then low blows Solo Sikoa. I don't know what the point of that was. He low blows Solo Sikoa. He gives him a power bomb. He pins him 1-2-3. We didn't need Gunther to win like that, right? Like it's Gunther, right? And it's Solo Sikoa. I like maybe they're trying to protect Solo, right? Because the MFTs and everything. Maybe they're trying to protect Solo, but I wasn't a fan of this move. I wasn't a fan of making Gunther resort to low blowing Solo Sikoa to win the match. But Solo Sikoa wins the match. Then LA Knight comes in from the back. Or sorry, not Solo Sikoa. Gunther wins the match. Then LA Knight comes in from the back. They have a stare down, and it's going to be Gunther against LA Knight this Friday night to determine who gets to have that final match against John Cena. And like I said, I still think it's going to be Gunther, but the fact that it's LA Knight and not Jey Uso gives me a little bit of doubt, like a 10% doubt that maybe it's LA Knight. Either way, I think that's going to be a fun match, and whichever one of these two guys faces John Cena in his final match, I don't think it'll be a bad match. Somewhere in there, we also got a match for the tag team titles, for the men's tag team titles. We had AJ Styles and Dragon Lee versus the New Day. And I don't think anyone expected that to be a bad match, and it absolutely wasn't. If I tell you it's a good match, you're like, yeah, no, of course, it's the New Day. And it's AJ Styles and Dragon Lee. Actually, Dragon Lee's really good in the ring. But anyway, of course you expect a good match from this. But that finale, the way that it ended, was absolutely amazing because Kofi Kingston is kind of like propped up on the top rope. AJ Lee tags in, AJ Lee. Dragon Lee tags in AJ Styles. He then goes to the top turnbuckle, does a double stomp on Kofi Kingston while he's on the rope. Kofi then bounces into AJ's arms, onto his shoulders, into a Styles clash. And that's how the match ends, from that Styles clash. The way that this ended was super creative, super great. I don't think anyone else would be able to do this other than Kofi Kingston. But yeah, take advantage of it while he's in the ring. Kofi Kingston is the only one acrobatic enough to do this, the only one agile enough to do this, I think. And it was amazing. It was a great way to finish that match. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee win, and it seems like next week they're going to go up against the War Raiders. So I like that WWE is focusing on the tag team scene, both men and women. So it's a new era. Maybe just until we get to the Royal Rumble, but sure, why not? Let's make December the tag team month. Also, it looks like we're going to get Rey Mysterio against Finn Balor next week for some reason. So they announced this match. Then Rey is cutting a promo about maybe going after the IC title. He's like, I'm going to get to my deadbeat son somehow, some way, even if I have to get through the rest of the Judgment Day first. He's talking about going after the IC title. And then he's interrupted by Logan Paul. And Logan Paul's like, you're going after the IC title. Maybe that's a good idea. So they kind of get into it. I don't know if this is leading for a feud between Logan Paul and Rey Mysterio. I don't know if that's what it's leading towards, but I think eventually we're going to get Logan Paul as an IC champion. And honestly, as much as I hate Logan Paul, and you guys know I hate Logan Paul as a person, he's a terrible human being. As much as I hate Logan Paul, I think it is the right move to give him the IC title. If you want the Vision to be this big bad faction that is taking over Monday Night Raw, drip them in gold. So I think that that's the right move, putting Logan Paul into the main event scene, having him win that IC title. As much as I hate him, I don't hate this idea. So, speaking of the Vision, my favorite moment of tonight was that Bron Breakker promo in the ring. Oh my God. Talks about CM Punk. He's like, I'm upset about what happened this weekend. He's like, I'm not upset because I'm hurt. I'm not upset because of the match. It's like, I'm upset because I grew up looking up to CM Punk. I enjoyed watching CM Punk, and now I face CM Punk, and this is the best in the world. Apparently, they're having a match on January 5th, right? And this promo was just so great. Like, he still like builds up CM Punk. He's like, this was the bad monster that I was supposed to be scared of. He talks about how at the Royal Rumble, CM Punk was like, hey, you're doing great, man, but let's see if you can hang with the big boys. And he's like, how's this promo for hanging with the big boys? And then just like with that intensity that Bron Breakker has, it was absolutely, I have chills just talking about it. It was an absolutely amazing promo. Give this man the mic more. Let's have him in that intensity that only the Steiners have, right? Let's give him the mic. Let's have him cut these fire promos. He like slammed the mic after his promo, and then it bounced and landed in Logan Paul's hand, and Logan Paul's like, fire. And that's it. Because it absolutely was. Give Bron Breakker everything. Give him every title in WWE. He absolutely deserves it. I hope he beats CM Punk on January 5th. I hope he does. I'm sorry. I love CM Punk. CM Punk is my favorite wrestler. I hope Bron Breakker beats CM Punk. After this promo, he has to. He absolutely has to. He can't cut a promo like this and then lose to CM Punk. So I hope you guys enjoyed CM Punk's championship reign because it's done. We then get our main event, and it was a great match throughout the whole match. I think these four women have amazing in-ring chemistry. I mean, they're all just amazing competitors in general, so how could they have a bad match? I was a little upset with how it ended at first, because it seems like the match is coming to a conclusion. It seems like, I mean, neither of them really have the upper hand on each other, right? Like, they're all kind of just exhausted in the ring. They were telling the story in the ring of them just being exhausted. Like, there was a moment where Rhea Ripley dropped Charlotte Flair. It wasn't on purpose, but she dropped Charlotte Flair. She's setting her up for a power bomb. And then they're like, yep, this only happens because they're still so exhausted from Morgan. So I liked that that was the story they were telling, even if it wasn't always on purpose, right? But anyway, they're all just laid out in the ring. I don't think anyone had the upper hand. No one was going for the pin or anything. They then get interrupted by an interfering Kabuki Warriors, and then there's a double DQ basically. So I was like, great. This is really how we're gonna end this main event. This is so stupid. I was very upset. And as the Kabuki Warriors are laying it in on Iyo, because right, they have an actual hatred for Iyo now. So as they're laying it into Iyo, they get interrupted by Bayley and Lyra Valkyria, and I was like, okay, that's fine, all right. So we're gonna get a little 4-team match probably at some point. So they get interrupted by Bayley and Lyra. They start beating up on the Kabuki Warriors, and then the Judgment Day jumps in. So it's Raquel Rodriguez, Roxanne Perez, and Liv Morgan. And they take out everybody who's left, right? Anyone who's standing gets taken out by the Judgment Day, right? I think at the end, Raquel Rodriguez, Tejana bombs Asuka, I think it was. And Raquel and Roxanne go to pick up their titles, go to pick up the tag team titles. And then Roxanne looks at Liv and she's like, you're right. And then hands that tag team title to Liv. Liv looks at it, hands it back to Roxanne, and picks up both of their hands. So I love this united front with the Judgment Day. I think Liv Morgan just adds something to this faction that was missing so bad. I still want them to break up. I still think that breakup is inevitable. I still think that breakup should have happened 6 months ago. But this adds so much to that team that if they didn't break up, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. So I absolutely loved how this ended. I went from hating the finish because, oh, really, the Kabuki Warriors jumped in, huh? To absolutely loving it because I think we're heading towards a 5, maybe 6-team, maybe ladder match, maybe just a 6-team tag match because it'll probably also be Nia and Lash Legend, I'm thinking. And I don't hate it. I absolutely love that. I love that WWE is building the women's tag scene. Again, it's probably only for December until we get to the Royal Rumble, but I'm here for it. So I absolutely love the way that this went off the air. So there you have it. That was tonight's Monday Night Raw. WWE really wants you to believe that the masked man was Seth Rollins. They kept being like, oh, Seth Rollins was there. Everybody's saying Seth Rollins was there, but he wasn't wearing a singlet. Maybe it was Seth Rollins. And then even the part that, like, I don't know if I like was that the Vision and, Paul Heyman mostly were like, I don't know who that was. Don't blame that on us. We have no clue who that was. So whoever it is, if we're trying to add another member to the Vision, make the Vision aware. I don't know. It was that part was a little weird, but tonight's Monday Night Raw, man, Monday Night Raw has been flying. I really enjoyed it. I thought them just building on both tag team scenes was incredible. And then that Bron Breakker CM Punk match on January 5th. I cannot wait. Anyway, though, since you made it this far, drop a like. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Let me know if you guys really enjoyed Monday Night Raw. Maybe I'm wrong. It's happened before. There's definitely been times where I've posted my video and I'm like, oh, I absolutely love Monday Night Raw. And then I look at everyone else's videos and everyone else's reactions and everyone else's comments, and they're like, worst Raw ever. So listen, this is why it's beautiful, because we can all have our own opinion. And my opinion was that I absolutely love this Monday Night Raw. So let me know what you thought in the comments. Since you made it this far, drop a like, subscribe, hang out with us, look at all my other videos. They're a lot of fun. Anyway, though, as always, until next time, peace.